Hey everybody, Sean from Media Assault here, and it's time for episode 5 of the 1970s Drive-In Spectacular here at Media Assault. And this time out, taking a look at Damnation Alley from 1977. And just want to point out real quick, this is the movie that inspired me to do these drive-in movie reviews for the month of January about movies from the 1970s, because I have such a fond memory of seeing this film at the drive-in. And it was probably the summer of 1978 that I ended up seeing this film at the drive-in. Just really remember having a great time watching this. I really loved it as a kid, mainly for the Landmaster vehicle, which you can see on the cover there, and I'll be talking a little bit about that in just a second. But this is a movie that tells the story of a bunch of soldiers and ex-soldiers who travel across the country post-World War III in these vehicles called Landmasters. At first there are two, and then there is one. And they travel across the country hoping to find the last refuge of humanity in Albany, New York. Or at least they think that's where there may be the last refuge of humanity. They're not entirely sure, but they decide they're better off trying than not trying because things are looking pretty bleak where they're at. And that's really the entire plot. There is very little in the way of a storyline other than the journey. They meet some people, they encounter some vicious storms, some giant meat-eating cockroaches, some half-crazed guys hiding out in the desert, and stuff happens to them. They pick up a few stragglers, most notably a woman played by Dominique Sanda, and a boy played by Jackie Earle Haley. The crew of the Landmaster is George Peppard, Jan Michael Vincent, Paul Winfield, and well, there's another guy, and I can't remember his name. He's in it, but he gets killed off fairly quickly in the film. Really, I think this is a movie that was more ambitious than it was set out to be made intentionally campy. It had a very large budget. This movie, the budget for this movie was actually twice that of Star Wars, almost. It was made for $17 million, and Star Wars was made for $9 million. And when you compare the two films, one looks fantastic today, and the other one looks like it would show up in a 1970s campy drive-in review thing on YouTube. But you can tell that somebody tried to make a good film here. It was just they were overly ambitious. And aside from the Landmaster vehicle, most of the special effects look pretty terrible. It takes about 90% of the running time of the movie for the Landmaster and its crew to get to the Rocky Mountains. And they start in California. And then pretty quick after that, you never see the Rocky Mountains either, by the way. And then shortly after they're supposedly there, they're in Detroit. So it kind of skips a large part of the country. So this is hardly a movie that you would want to consult for a geography lesson. And then very shortly after they reach Detroit, the credits roll. So a lot of spinning of the wheels, both literally and figuratively, in this film. So when I wanted to do this because I thought this was an incredibly cheesy, schlocky film. It is, but I think it's more a fault of the fact that they just couldn't do the things they wanted to do on camera, and they tried and they ultimately failed. But there is still a nice quantity of schlock here. There is the fact that George Peppard can't seem to make up his mind which accent he wants. He's either from the South or from Massachusetts. Sometimes both in the same sentence. Jackie Earle Haley's character is really good at throwing rocks for some reason. I'm not sure if that is because he was just in The Bad News Bears the year before, and they wanted to tie into that maybe, who knows. I've mentioned that the special effects in this film are bad. Most notably, though, are the giant scorpions that are encountered at the beginning of the movie. They look terrible. Really bad. There is a nice little I don't want to say trick, but there is a nice little twist to the giant scorpion scene that actually plays off pretty well, but is full of errors in and of itself. But I won't spoil it for you. And you know what? For driving across country with a landscape that looks like that, there are some incredibly well-maintained roads in the post-apocalyptic future. No potholes, no debris, just they look freshly maintained. So apparently the Department of Transportation, wherever they're driving through at that time, has done a really good job after being annihilated by 40 or 50 nuclear missiles. So that's kind of funny. Ultimately, though, I really enjoyed watching Damnation Alley again. This particular release, this is from Shout Factory. It came out last summer, summer of 2011. It's got some really good special features on it. It has, of course, a great transfer of the original film, but there's commentary by the producer, Paul Maslansky. Survival Run, which is a look at the challenges that were faced in adapting the original Roger Zelazny book into the screenplay. Zelazny hated this film because it is not at all what he was trying to accomplish with his book. There's also an interview with Jerome Zeitman, a producer, and he kind of outlined some of the problems with bringing this film to the screen. And then there is what probably is going to be the most popular special feature. There's a look at the Landmaster vehicle and an interview with its designer, Dean Jeffries. So if you're into science fiction, 1970s schlock, I just highly recommend this all across the board. It's a lot of fun. It's flawed, but, you know, it is what it is. And it is the reason I did this entire series of reviews for the month, and will continue to do them for the rest of the month. And as always, I rate these films in this series based on the fact that they are brought to your attention as schlocky 1970s drive-in films. And for that, I'm going to give this one a 9 out of 10. Just a really fun film. It's flawed, but it's worth seeing. And I think you'll have fun watching it. So that's my review of Damnation Alley from '77. Stay tuned for more 1970s drive-in spectacular films. Of course, I keep talking about the Manitou. I'm actually going to do that next, so that'll be episode 6. And of course, I've got The Car coming down the road. Ha ha, what a pun. And The Dark should be here shortly, so I'll be doing that one as well. So thanks again, everybody, for watching, rating, commenting, and of course subscribing. And stay tuned also for the details of my 800 subscriber giveaway. I've got one set of giveaway prizes so far. I'm going to have 3 total. So I'll be putting that together very shortly. So thanks again. Take it easy. See ya.